Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for round two tonight on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, and for very good reason. Because we've got a champion and we've got a Three Rivers champion. And no, I'm not talking about the New York Jets. No, 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 no. Definitely not talking about the New York Jets. But I'm talking about a man that just defended his championship not too long ago in PWX, but is going to be looking for a November knockout coming up here on November the 2nd. You might be getting ready to set those clocks back, but I don't think our champion here is going to be setting too many clocks back because he's going to quote Dr. Dre, get some heads ringing here. He'll talk about that. He'll also talk about what's happened in some other places. Maybe we'll get into a match that we saw at WVWF for that hybrid championship. And maybe we'll even talk about a couple of usuals on Sportswire Radio. How about the names Peanut Butter and Jealous? They're back next Wednesday night. And, we're going to certainly be talking about them. That guy with the hammer and Andrew Lovelace. And what about that referee that, oh, by the way, the champion, well, he maybe does a podcast or two with, which is streamed on StreamYard like yours truly. Plus, we're going to talk about our champion's journey, which has took him up and down the United States, and he's traveled to a number of different places here, and who knows where you're going to see him next. But I'll tell you where you are going to see him next. In addition to November 2nd, you're seeing him live here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, the platform that you helped build. And, I know you've done a bunch of these before. You do co-hosting with the referee and Ian Graves, and you've probably been around up and down the circuit of podcasters, but there's no other platform like this one. I know you watched what Mr. Lovelace and Mr. Strong said on here, but I'm going to give you now that championship-like introduction. The only place that gives you that introduction that some have said has rivaled the likes of Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer, now Lillian Garcia, and Tony Schimmel once upon a time, but Justin Roberts, forget about all of them. You are now going to get that championship-like introduction here on Sportswire Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it here for round two of tonight's action-packed shows on Sportswire Radio. So, with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one. Sports Show, the reigning, defending Three Rivers champion from PWX. His name may be long, but his name is simply put the gentleman of Exquisite caliber Godrick. The champ is here. Champ, how are we doing?
Well, first of all, Reverend Tom Bryce, it is an honor to be on the Sportswire broadcast this evening. And to answer your question, I am doing quite well, especially with such a gallant introduction as that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that because it's the second one I've done tonight. I've done like 158 or 159 days in a row of these, and I definitely grinded my way to not only 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, and who knows how many subscribers. So it's definitely been a long grind, and good to continue it. Thank you, everybody here, for tuning in. But it's great to meet you. Obviously, I've been doing some PWX coverage now for the past couple of months, and there's one individual that I know quite a bit. I actually know him for quite a while now that I know will be a topic next Wednesday alongside his tag team partner, but it's your turn tonight. So before I get into anything else here, we'll watch your match. We'll get a chance to talk about a couple of different things, but let's talk about this. For those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. Let me ask you, what does it mean to you to be the reigning, defending PWX Three Rivers champion?
Well, to be honest with you, it's not really something I ever felt like I was ever going to accomplish in my life, but by the grace of whatever you wish to call it, and by the hard work and a little bit of elbow grease, well, yours truly, a two-time Three Rivers champion as that, and you can say, excuse my language here for just a moment, I am damn proud of it.
No, damn, you could say on Sportswire. There's been a lot said about Sportswire, but damn, I allow. Some people want to use the F word and other things, but I do try to subconsciously not use it. But damn is okay. You should definitely be damn proud. But, in hearing you for the first time, we're going to play your match on the screen. We're going to talk about some different things. We'll get into, I also want to put up the actual ticket event page where you can actually buy a ticket to the show. We'll get into that. And I'm sure I have a lot to say about some other current events, but you said it wasn't something that you planned for. You talked about a little bit elbow grease. It was a lot of work ethic. So basically, why in a way that you say that you almost kind of didn't expect to be a champion, let alone the Three Rivers champion?
Well, that kind of goes back to the beginning of my journey in professional wrestling. Some of you may know this that are watching, some may not, so let me get you up to speed real quick. I started off many, many moons ago simply as a referee, like most do.
Yep.
And obviously, with how dapper a gentleman tends to dress, they moved me on.
Lady out there watching me, and I am, my bank account would probably match your wardrobe, but I am basically, I'm a lifestyle man. I like to consider myself more on the Sammy Hagar, Jimmy Buffett side of the world. I don't do suit and tie, so you could do it for me. But thank you.
As you like, I will carry that honor for you, sir.
Thank you.
But like I said, with how dapper I tend to dress, they decided to make me a master of ceremonies from time to time. And, well, they say, well, this is other people's words, not mine. My voice tends to carry.
I could certainly see that. And I actually, it's funny you said that. I actually did that before. They called me a hype man in college basketball. So what a surprise there. But so that kind of makes you appreciate. I know you look Mr. Dapper. You got a $500 suit on. You got a
whoa.
Definitely, not my kind of cup of tea. But so does it make you appreciate the journey that we're going to show the audience for in a little bit here? Does it make you appreciate the journey more in the fact that you didn't start out necessarily as a wrestler? You started out as a referee, and you did some of those different tasks, and you were probably around helping set up the ring and being there hours ahead of time and just being there with the crew. Does that make you in some way appreciate your journey into where you are right now as a guy that just main evented the last PWX show?
As a matter of fact, as often as I'm able to, I do actually still prefer to work alongside ring crews. I like to help people out as much as I humanly can because, honestly, I want to make professional wrestling as a whole, at this level, at that level, at the upper levels, if I ever get to that point, as best as humanly as I can. So
it's a great lesson. It's a great lesson for anybody out there. I get guys on who are pro wrestlers, underground guys, backyard guys. So it's important that you go out there and pay your dues. And, before we go into the match with Vincent Slades, you're a main eventer. You just wrestled in the main event of a company that's got a great history. I've been talking a lot about PWX here these past few months, and I'm sure we'll get into some of that and some other people that'll be here next week on the show. But what's that like being a main event talent and defending a championship in front of a big crowd, a company that has a great history. Pittsburgh's a huge wrestling town inside that area. So what did that mean to you to be a part of the main event for the last show?
In a word, surreal.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, I never thought I would end up quite to this point. But the fact that I was able to work hard and get to this point, earn as much respect along the way as I can, and to get to this point, it's truly humbling.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that, but let's get into some of your match here because I want to talk about. I like to get the audience involved, so let's certainly go from the very beginning. So let's talk about that.
Well, you do.
I'm going to put it up on the screen so we'll get a chance to almost war game it. I've been kind of doing. I don't know if you're a football fan. I've been doing. I like to put these matches on the screen just to kind of set the tables. I know you've probably seen some of the PWX shows I've done recently, but what I like to do when I have wrestlers come on is I kind of almost do things like a Manning cast, where basically it's you get to watch it, we watch along, we talk about it. I mean, I've obviously watched the match just before we went on the air, but I like for the audience that comes in here or watches the shows on a replay that they get a chance to hear your side of the story, basically in real time. You were out there wrestling, but now we get a chance to kind of watch it. So I like to do this for every show I have because it's almost in a way very similar to the Manning cast. You see the Manning brothers, they're watching the game, they've played it, so people like to talk about it with them. A-Rod was doing that a bit for the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, so I like to do it for the same way. So we're going to get into that because people do not want to hear me. They want to see it kick some butt in the ring, so we're going to do that right now. And here we go. So we're going to put this on the screen. I'm going to put the screen on big. So here we are, huge crowd here.
And, me and that dastardly Vincent Slades.
Yes, definitely. Not to be confused with the UK overseas band years ago that Def Leppard was inspired by. But you got a big crowd here, and I'm curious because you're here in front of this crowd. How do you feed off the crowd to help you in these matches, especially where you're in a main event? I mean, talk to me about that for the audience.
Well, I like to tailor my approach to whoever it is that I'm working. There was a couple matches ago where I was working a guy that was actually a little bit similar to my size, so I was able to pick up the pace a little bit more than I'm usually able to. But obviously against somebody like a Vincent Slades, especially with that Drew Profit running around outside, Sprachensing a Deutsch that yours truly can understand. But as I'm sure you can see, that Vincent Slades has, let's just be nice about it and say he has a bit of a size advantage on me. So obviously yours truly has to move around a little bit more than usual. But thankfully.
I was going to ask you about that because I interview a lot of wrestlers, and I just had on one that was also in a match where there was a size disadvantage, and he won the match. And from your vantage point, how do you then deal with the size disadvantage when you're in these matches? What's your strategy going into these types of matches?
Well, to quote another famous pugilist, if I may, Muhammad Ali, please rest in peace or in power, whatever you prefer. I like a little bit of stick and move personally.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You'll definitely sting like a bee, I'm sure, coming up here. But interesting here that your opponent comes out and he's obviously got his manager here, and there's just sort of this words I would kind of think as basically somebody going out in a big match like this. You just want to go out there and just wait for you to come out and just beat you up and such. But what did you think about that now that we're getting a chance to watch it here live? I'm sure you've spoken about it since, but what's your thoughts on that?
Well, this is actually a matchup that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. When I heard it announced, my excitation went through the roof anticipating this night because, well, though me and Vincent Slades haven't really crossed paths too much in the squared circle, wow, he's a gentleman that's been on my radar for quite some time. And when you're on this gentleman's radar, you know he's interested in getting into a tussle with you.
I wanted to ask you this question, and you're here with somebody that you want to wrestle. And do you try to navigate basically defending the title, but also at the same time, all those emotions that you want to face somebody? How do you kind of almost juggle that? I've interviewed a lot of wrestlers over the years. I've interviewed a lot of UK wrestlers that were kind of like you main eventing in front of a really big crowd, and a lot of basically personal feelings toward an opponent. And I always ask them that question over the years I've been doing this. And how do you juggle and navigate those things more or less?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer there would be you channel it into a more constructive means, but I would assume that's too easy of an answer for you.
No, you could say whatever you want. I mean, it's really, I don't, I basically, contrary to what most people do, I'm very laid back in my approach. I let everybody talk the way they want to talk, but, the crowd is definitely into you. I'll say that much. And they're actually a lot more into you than peanut butter and jelly. We'll get to that.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Obviously. Well, you actually win matches, though. You win matches.
well, I do the best I can, anyways. As far as my approach with one Vincent Slades, it would probably surprise you to hear that I don't actually hate Vincent Slades. I don't.
Okay, why not? Why not for the audience?
Because quite frankly, I don't have a reason to. I'm not a big fan of hating another individual, especially in a competitive standpoint.
Could we make the case that it makes it in a way for you? It distracts you from what you're trying to do as a competitor because now you're blinded by like emotions, and that takes away from the preparation. That takes away from everything that you're doing in order to be a competitor, right? If you take the sports analogy, I have a college basketball background and college soccer background, and I would ask coaches and players that same question. They would give you the same answer that you just gave. Basically, I just want to go out there. I just want to go and win, and I ain't going to worry too much about my opponent in that sense.
Well, it was actually also said to me many years ago, to quote a really good movie. I want to say this might have been Al Pacino that said it. If I'm incorrect with this, please correct me. But he said it was never hate your enemies. It affects your judgment.
Okay, well, you get blinded. Well, to quote, was it Manfred and Man, blinded by the light, blinded by the light. Some
Wow.
people want me to sing, but I don't think that's tonight. But you're the champion, but you're definitely doing here. But again, I just find it interesting that instead of going out and basically wanting to just go out and beat you and fight you, we have this long of just a rant and just I mean, you're getting undressed and going into your thing, but I just think as if I'm in a main event, I don't want to go out and talk for 2, 3, 4 minutes. I want to go out there and just fight you. I mean, don't you kind of agree in a sense?
As a matter of fact, I do. And actually, a couple of comments on that now that you're bringing that to my attention. I will say this about Mr. Drew Profit, even as he's speaking on the screen right now. I will say that, like I said earlier, he does Sprackens a Deutsch that even a gentleman can indulge in just a little bit. But I actually kind of respect his strategy because I was getting the crowd all hyped up. The energy, the synergy was becoming a beautiful thing, and all that talking, all that hubbubaloo, as you may call it, taking the wind out of my sails to give his guy an advantage and slow the pace down. I actually got to give kudos for good strategy tip right there.
Really? So you think that was a good strategy? I would have thought the complete, again, I'm not a wrestler, but I would have thought the total opposite because I would think if I want to go out there, I just want to go out and fight you. I just wouldn't want to waste all my energy and spend minutes talking about you. I don't know. It's just everybody's different, I suppose. What do I know? You're the champion. I'm not.
Well, the way I look at it, that getting tossed like that hurt me again. Wow.
I'm sure it hurts again watching it. You're like, oh boy, I forgot what that felt like, but not in a good way.
Yeah, I would really rather forget about that moment, but hey, here we are.
Well, we are here, and he's obviously here, but you got to use your agility. I think that's something that you would have obviously used as a strength of yours, your agility to make up for that size disadvantage.
Indeed, indeed. And that's actually what I was going to get at there in just a moment. It was with obviously I have a little bit of a speed advantage over Vincent Slades, even though he has the size advantage on me. So a very common strategy would be to slow the speedier guy down so the bigger guy can get your hands on you.
And you were trying the, I think your version of the 619. And well, what's the Pittsburgh? What's the area code by you guys again? I forgot the area.
Excuse me. It would be 412.
So maybe you should have tried it as the 412. I'm sure somebody here in the PWX locker room is going to quote me on that, but
Well, perhaps. But I'm a little bit of a bigger fan of sending an old fashioned telegram myself. So I think I may end up calling that just simply a telegram for whoever I'm facing. In this case, Vincent Slades didn't get my message.
Oh, well, that's actually a good thing. You definitely won't send those messages in a bottle, but you are being choked out there a little bit. But that's definitely gotta hurt you. But you're drawing right back in the ring.
Yeah, that Drew Prophet, Mr. Prophet. You want to speak of angels? You want to speak of devils? Well, like I said, you're speaking a language that yours truly is not unfamiliar with himself. I'm quite the eclectic when it comes to my verbiage as well.
I definitely getting a chance to read up and watch some of your stuff. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little while. We'll I'm sure I'll get into that. But obviously, Vincent Slades is using now his size and strength advantage to try to wear you down a little bit here in the match. And we are here with the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. He is the Three Rivers champion from our friends in PWX. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'll put up a couple of links for the guys in a few minutes, and we're on Sportswire Radio. And thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. And we are excited to have the champion here. It's always an honor to have a champion here, and everybody else we'll get to in a little while. But obviously here, Mr. Slades is working you down, and you're choking there a little bit. You're almost grasping for air a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I remember that near 300-pound frame on my back. That was not a very pleasant experience, I'll say that.
Well, definitely take note for the audience, but certainly you're now being dragged back up to your feet, and Mr. Slades is working on you. So you wanted to wrestle him. So for the audience, what kind of competitor are we watching here in Vincent Slades?
Well, I would call him a formidable opponent, and that's just to be put a tip on the iceberg, so to speak, with that.
Sure. But, well, that was a nice little move you did there. I mean, you obviously showed sort of your vaudeville talents there. I think vaudeville is more your language, right? Vaudeville is more your language.
Oh, please! I am merely a humble vaudevillain, but I do appreciate the sentiment.
In college, I took music and we studied vaudeville. It was my professor. I'm from New York City, and I remember we had music class, and vaudeville was actually one of my favorite parts of the music class. So I thought you'd appreciate that. But now you're not appreciating what Vincent Slades is doing to you right now. That's for sure.
At the moment, no. I still remember a little bit of this trouncing at his hands. Some things just sear into your mind, and this would be one of them.
I could see that, but nice little clever offense. But he does roll you up. It reminds me, I am going to make myself look. I'm not as old as really I would basically use this reference for, but you probably would get it. There was a game called Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and there was a boxer, and he would use a punch. I think it was the big Russian guy would go like this, and that's basically what your opponent there, Mr. Slades, did. He basically mimicked one of the characters in Mike Tyson's Punch Out there.
Yeah, I like to think that my European uppercuts are pretty nice, but Slades with a little bit of a weight advantage, obviously he's going to outclass me in that department.
I could see that, but you did you attempted a drop kick, attempted a code breaker there a little bit, but you looked like you suffered some pain there a little bit, but hopefully, well, I know the outcome, but the audience will just pretend as if, well, you're the champion. They'll figure it out. But obviously here, he is using his size, and he does, I guess, some sort of version of a sidewalk slam, kind of almost, and you kick out, but with 2 and I guess 3/4 almost.
Yeah, that nice gut wrench suplex that he did. I'll give the pardoning Drew Prophet here, but I will give the devil his due.
The devil is due here. I know I have to make you chuckle. What's your opinion on the referee here so far tonight?
Well, me and Master Ian Grays, we've been working alongside each other for quite some time. I have nothing but the utmost love and respect for him. And
so you feel respect and love for him, rather as next week, I'm sure, as strong and obviously loveless, they'll have a different tune. They'll be singing a different tune, an out of tune.
Yes, they will be, and even if they don't feel the same way about yours truly, I do love and respect both members of Peanut Butter and Jealous as well. Just from hey, I respect you as a competitor. We may not see eye to eye, we may not dress similarly, as I'm sure everybody would notice, but that doesn't change the respect.
Those two. You definitely, especially Mr. Strong there, Max the Hammer Strong. You don't come out there with a hammer. I don't. You don't seem the type to come out with a hammer.
Not unless it's time to lay it down. But well, a gentleman would rather have an amicable conversation either over a good book, a cigar, and a bourbon, or a cognac if it's available. But sometimes you must step in the ring and handle business.
Well, you definitely do that. You'd probably be surprised that I've actually never had any of those things: bourbon, cognac, or a cigar.
Really?
I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never drank one zip of alcohol. Nothing. I'm an AI version. All I do is I'm on this platform. So I mean, the only thing I drink is these big gulps because I'm always trying to replenish my throat. So, but you obviously get back up here. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a little while. But you are making a bit of a comeback. Nice little drop kick. You've got Slades into the turnbuckle, and you're making a move here.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. Nothing like a shotgun drop kick from the second rope to remind this big guy of why I am 2 times you're damn proud. Again, excusing my language. Three Rivers champion.
Well, you are the Three Rivers champion, and the New York Jets definitely aren't the Three Rivers champion. But that was a really good move, I have to admit. That was a really good move on Mr. Slade's behalf. What does he call that move? Because I didn't know what it was during the commentary. But
I believe that is called a reverse blockbuster. It's a personal favorite move of mine, and sometimes when you say the word blockbuster, it makes a gentleman feel a little bit more antiquated than he already is.
Well, I mean, blockbuster was the move that Buff Bagwell had, but I think it was a sort of a different variation there, which you kind of didn't point out. But obviously, you are coming back here, and that was a stiff close on. That looked like that hurt from here in New York.
Yeah. I could feel the imprint across my chest on that one.
Yeah, I could see that, and I don't even know how I would have got up, but you found a way to get up. But he's obviously motioning. I think he's motioning for your championship belt, but something tells me that you're not going to take that lying down, sir.
I will not. Any challenger, it doesn't matter. Big or small, wide or tall, it doesn't matter. Step up and come and get you some, as they say.
Well, you definitely are coming back here. This is the moment where in a match the opponents kind of come back right up, and you've kind of got to your footing, and you're about to go up and do something here from the high rent district, as they would say.
Oh, I know exactly what's coming, but I won't spoil it just yet.
Especially as we have some new people here tuned in, but that was a pretty sick frog splash there a little bit, and I think you felt it there a little bit, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
1,
and you are too kind, sir.
2, 3, ring the bell, and still Three Rivers champion, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. And you've retained that championship after a hard-earned effort, and feels good to be on top still.
No, absolutely it does. Like I said, it's still kind of surreal to be able to do this, but I'm going to revel in every moment of it until I can no longer.
But not so fast, in the words
of Indeed.
Because as just when you're about to celebrate, who are we looking at for the audience?
Well, obviously, it can't be heard on here right now, but that is the individual that is known simply as Jace Carr.
Jace Carr. Tell us
Indeed.
about Jace Carrs.
Well, from what I understand about him, he's made his rounds at least through the Pittsburgh area. He's traveled abroad as well, picking up a lot of experience from some better wrestlers than yours truly. I can assure you, I'm humble enough to admit that.
Okay.
And from what I understand, PWX is actually one of the very few promotions that he has not been to just yet. Well, at least until that night, obviously. But, well, he wants to try his hands at PWX at the Three Rivers Champions expense. He's more than welcome to try.
but you're just kind of confused on everything. You're just like, what's it about you? I mean, how I would have felt.
Yeah, I mean, something to be said about like hey, wait a minute. All I wanted to do was have a dance party with the Godrick's gallantry, and you're sitting out there talking up a storm and calling me out at that particular instant
And calling you
right
out
there.
after a hard-earned battle, a victory well-deserved, and taking the spotlight from you. Taking the spotlight from you.
Admittedly, a little bit, but that's okay. As far as I'm concerned, for Jace Carr, he has earned his respect. He has earned my respect for everything that he's accomplished thus far in this great business of professional wrestling. But as I said, if he thinks he's going to get one up on me like that, well, he's got another thing coming.
But right now, you're not feeling the same way at this moment. Right now, we're looking at this, and he's come out of thin air, and he's mouthing off to the crowd after a hard-earned match that you just had, and you're doing everything that you're almost going back at him. You're pointing fingers, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just standing there. You're just standing there, champ. And maybe you should have walked out of the ring and just let him have the floor. Should you have walked away or just nah?
Well, I was actually a little bit curious as to what he had to say, so I wanted to stick around and listen to him from the proverbial horse's mouth, hear what he has to say. It's like, hey, if you're here on business and it does concern a champion, then well, I'd like to hear it myself.
And he's taking that jacket off his there, and he's taking it off, and he's looking at you, and he's definitely doing something here. He's looking for something, and he comes up here and
Oh,
it hurts.
yeah,
It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt.
yeah. I felt that sting for probably a good week.
He stung like a bee, to quote Muhammad Ali.
Indeed, rest in peace to the greatest.
Absolutely. Listen, yeah, he's speaking to the choir, but then he takes your belt and puts it on his shoulders. I mean, that's got to make you feel like you're stuck in a cold Three Rivers there almost.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. Thankfully, I won't be doing any true polar plunges anytime soon. I'm smarter
Well,
than
the
that.
weather's actually pretty good right now. I mean, I don't know what it's like by you, but in New York, it was 80 degrees today. So you actually might want to go in the water. I'm almost tempted to bring my pool back up again. Who knows? Maybe my lady friend out there wants to go for a swim if she's still watching. I wouldn't mind that. It's certainly.
Well, perhaps you should ask.
Well, my pool might have to reopen. It's going to be 80 again tomorrow. But be that as it may, you got hurt there. It's a painful way to end what should have been a victory, to celebrate with the Godrick's gallantry, and should have been in your blaze of glory. But yet you're senselessly attacked and ends the show with a whimper almost.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess Mr. Carr wanted to make an impact, so to speak, and he chose yours truly to make that impact. And once again, I will give the devil his due. He wanted to make an impact. He certainly did that. But
He did. That's for sure.
But rest assured, come November 2nd, well, yours truly, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, is going to have that ne'er-do-well Jace Carr in his sights.
Well, Jace Carr, you got another thing coming, and you'll definitely, I'm sure, are going to get everything that Mr. Sandwell's got to offer, because he's our reigning, defending Three Rivers champion. Let me give him a big plug. Let's give him a couple of plugs here first. Let's take this off the screen. I'm going to go like this and take this off the screen. I don't want to plug your Facebook. Well, I have a chance to go out there and hit a plug, say hello to a few different friends. So let's do that right here. So I'm going to go like this. Well, I can show your Facebook here very quickly because I'm going to lose it in a matter of seconds. So I'm going to go like this. So this is his Facebook. If you want to check out the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, I would highly encourage you. Give him a follow, a like. And ladies, gentlemen, angels, demons, and all points between. He is the gentleman of exquisite caliber, the servant of the sentience, and yours truly, Godrick Sandwell, a humble traveling vaudevillian that would be honored to wrestle in a town near you. You look like you could have been one of those managers in one of the John Wick movies instead of being the gentleman of exquisite caliber. But maybe you were going to be in one of those John Wick movies. You probably could. You got the wrestling skills there, but that's his Facebook page. Check him out. He's obviously a huge part of our things coming up with PWX and a slew of great other promotions. You can check him out here. He'll be a part of November Knockout. That'll be at 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Beautiful McKeesport, Pennsylvania. And you'll see the champ here. Doors open 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Bell time 7 o'clock. Get this, front row is only $20. $20. You know, $20 in New York City, that don't even get me a hamburger and french fries anymore. You know, $20 doesn't even get me to an IMAX movie. But we can go watch you and a slew of our favorites in PWX and watch a heck of a wrestling show. Sounds like a great deal to me. Go out and buy your ticket, especially if you're nearby in the area. So definitely make sure you do that. Obviously, I've lost my stream here, so we'll go like yeah, well, I've got some other links to put out there, so we'll take care of that in a minute. But definitely, let's say hello to the chat. I got some people here in the house. Zilla, who's like my resident chat expert. She's on all my shows. Doesn't matter who I'm talking about. She'd like to say hello. She's a big fan. And
you are too kind. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Definitely say hello to Zilla. Zilla's great. She's in my Hall of Fame. Yes, we definitely say hello. That's from WC in Appleton, Wisconsin. We have this thing here, this binary code, which has been popping up on some of my Sportswire radio shows. And this is basically till something big is coming, which would be 60 days from now, which I don't think it's my funeral, but who knows? You never know. I do the cemetery, so, I mean, you never know. But I'll maybe rest in peace, but we'll say hello. And speaking of people that'll be here next week, though, there he is, Mr. Andrew Lovelace. Andrew Lovelace is in the house. And
Mr. Lovelace, how are you, sir? It's good to see you as always.
You've had a lot more success than him in PWX recently.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that I have, but that doesn't take away my respect for Mr. Lovelace.
Andrew's actually he's been one of my big supporters this year. Andrew is, we love Andrew on Sportswire, so actually we do love Andrew, so we definitely want to thank Andrew. Appreciate that. But he does hate Ian Graves, by the way.
Now that's a droll statement to be made.
Well, maybe I guess we'll see Ian on, I'm sure, with these two individuals next Wednesday. I'm sure they'll be here. Oh, you just wait. I am sure Lovelace, Graves, and Strong will be here. They'll be whining. They'll be complaining. It'll be the usual show when they're here, I would definitely say that would be for sure. So speaking of that, speaking of Ian Graves, he's actually here now because he was here earlier. What a small world. He was here my first show, and he actually knew the company of the guest I wrestled in. But he would like to say it, ladies and gentlemen, and all people around the world, your PWX Three Rivers champion, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Far too kind. Far too kind. I appreciate it.
You would definitely be a kind individual, but there's this woman here named Atomic Trash. I don't know what Atomic Trash is, but she would like to say hello. We definitely want to say hello. She's popped up on the show here. Like to say hiya. So who knows? But she says she's Atomic Trash. I don't know if I've met Atomic Trash before, but always a first for something, right?
It is indeed.
Well, we'll say hello. Lady Lestat. I think we know Lady Lestat.
Oh, Miss Lady Lestat, I'm so glad you're watching near or far, wherever you are. Miss Lady Lestat, oh, I miss thee.
Well, I'm sure we'll have some more Lady Lestat comments, so hang on tight. Zilla and Atomic Trash seem to know each other, so they say hello. We like to see a lot of people on Sportswire. They see each other every night, so they kind of catch up. It's almost like, I don't drink, obviously, but, I guess on Sportswire, it's almost like they're going to the bar. They might be sitting and exchanging peasantries or whatever they call it, pageantries, and saying hello to everybody, and that's what they do, because I'm here every night at this point. So the people, they've been getting used to each other. So they might say hello to one person, hello to another person. That's kind of, how things have kind of ended up here. But Godrick, and large capital caps locks. And we see here, PWX stands for Pro Wrestling Express. And just a great company, by the way. Great company that we've had the good fortune to work with. So many companies that we've worked with. I hope we continue to do that. And Mr. Lovelace gives the eyeballs there. But I don't know what the eyeballs mean. I don't know what the mean here. But
I'm wondering if he's just trying to keep an eye on yours truly, but well,
He's got his
I
own
have something
problems
he
though
can
to
keep an
worry
eye
about.
on.
He's got his own problems to worry about.
I may not disagree, but I mean, hey, if he's keeping an eye on this gentleman of exquisite caliber, well, I've got one, I've got two things he can keep an eye on if he's so inclined.
I tell you what, you definitely got two, and you definitely give a knuckle sandwich. I'm sure you've probably given out a few knuckle sandwiches in your time. I remember when I was a kid, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and my dad would always talk about knuckle sandwich. But he was a big man. He was a big man with a big fist, and he probably, my mother probably wanted me to get a few knuckle sandwiches, but here and there. But but you probably have given a few knuckle sandwiches. But let me get to Mr. Graves here. He would like to say one thing you need to know about Godrick Sandwell. He will stand in the ring and fight off any and all comers.
Yes, I will. It's as
Appreciate
I said earlier, bigger, small, wider, tall. It's like 2 against 1, 3 against 1, 5 against 1, 10 against 1. It doesn't matter to me.
10 against 1, I know you're the Three Rivers champion, but 10 against 1 might be a little bit tough in the odds. I mean, I don't know much about anything, but that sounds like pretty.
And while I don't disagree, and there are many magnificent athletes in the professional wrestling business, but it doesn't matter to me. If you want to take me 10 on 1, company wide on 1, it doesn't matter. I will stand in the middle of that squared circle, in the middle of that hollowed ground, and defend this for the honor of the PWX faithful and for the honor of the gallantry. And
I
that's
tell
a
you
fact.
what, beautiful belt. I couldn't agree more with you on that, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Want to say hello to one of my buddies who's in your chair as I'm about to cough there or burp, whatever knows both. In your chair next Tuesday night, he is another champion in DBW. His name is Silas Walker. He loves the venue. He's also a Pennsylvania guy. He's coming here next Tuesday. I'm excited about that. Yeah, really nice venue. Really great history in PWX, just solid company, and we're doing great. We're talking wrestling. That's really what we're doing. But it's funny. It's funny. You're here tonight. Then tomorrow, I have the complete opposite of wrestler. I have a guy, Kato. That's like a deathmatch hardcore wrestler.
I am familiar.
In the Carnage Cup and like all these big fancy, death and hardcore matches. He's the like total opposite of you as a pro wrestler, and you're here tonight, and then he's here tomorrow night. Just kind of thought that'd be ironic. I was trying to change things up a little bit. Obviously you, this classy individual, vaudevillian individual. Then tomorrow night, I've got basically a deathmatch savant. So,
Oh, please! If you keep complimenting me like this, I'm going to start blushing. Maybe this lighting is doing me some favors.
I have a lady friend that's watching my shows that would be blushing, but you could take her. You definitely have a lot more class than I would. But
hey, whoa! I'm not going to do that. That is not the conduct of a gentleman.
I'm only joking. But let me get. Want to say hello to my buddy Skulls. Yes, definitely thoughts and prayers to Liger Rivera in the Southern California area. Definitely. I know he's doing some ring crew work, and he was telling me about this earlier today. So, yes, definitely rest in peace. We always want to keep our thoughts and prayers to those. And my man that's going to be here Thursday night, by the way, a man that you know very well. He's actually here Thursday night about, I think, 8:30. He's here. And his name is Mr. DVG. He's back on Sportswire Thursday night for the first time in a long time. And he would say it's the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick. Now, he's a man that I could never take his job. Now, Mr. DVG is one of the very best in our sport doing that, but he's also mixing up a little bit, but he'll see you Saturday.
Yes, indeed he will. I believe he's going down to Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots this Saturday over in Bridgeport. As a matter of fact, since you're mentioning it, Mr. Glow, I do look forward to seeing you as well.
You could do some voiceover work like Mr. DVG. You could probably do some voiceover work.
No, I've been known to dabble into a thing or two here or there.
I have had a few people that do voiceover work on this platform. DVG, I have a guy in Australia. His name is Yoshi Matsuda, and he does voiceover work. He looks like Thor. He looks like Thor, and he does like voiceover work. He's literally and he's done like rap. He's a drill rapper. He has one hit with like 47,000 views, and he just wrestles for fun. So you reconnect with everybody here on Sportswire. But speaking of people that would like to say something, and that is Max the Hammer Strong. It's hammer time because Hammer's here. It's hammer time, baby.
Is it hammer time or is it whining time? In your words, not mine. I'm staying away from that.
hammer time. It's hammer time. I guess he's maybe too legit to quit. Maybe you can't touch this. Maybe he needs a little bit of an Adams groove. I don't know. Maybe he'll pray for a victory next time he's in the ring. I don't know.
Perhaps so. But I will say this about Max the Hammer Strong. He is legitimately the only man that can lay the claim to hammer time.
No, well, he certainly can, but we'll see if he will be bankrupt in success in the ring.
Yeah, that will remain to be seen for sure, isn't it?
We don't wish that level on anybody, but
No, absolutely
well,
not.
lady was that, yes. The people that who is also from the great state of Pennsylvania, who's here November the 6th. Boy, interesting. He's here right after Election Day. So whoever hopefully you voted for, if you vote wins, this guy will definitely be winning. His name is Chase Wakefield. Now, I have to ask you this question because I don't know if you know this individual, but this individual, so he's getting married. Congratulations to him. Obviously,
Congratulations, sir. Yes.
this is where I got to get your opinion because what he's doing is for his wedding. He's not just having some wedding at a church or at some catering hall. I worked in politics and there was a famous person I worked for where I lived that was a caterer or we won't go into that, but he's doing, instead of just a regular wedding at a church with the reception and whatever else, he's actually having a big wrestling super show. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on it. I don't know what your availability is like for this next summer, but he's got a lot of things planned and he's coming on every month to basically talk about this show. And I was wondering, with all due respect, obviously you're a champion, you're a very busy man. What's your thoughts on almost a wedding wrestling show? Would you, do something like this? And what do you think about this young man doing that?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting idea, and actually reminds me of a tale from some of the older parts of this gentleman's life. But I will say, weddings and wrestling, from a historical standpoint, don't seem to go very well together. But for Mr. Chase Wakefield, first, I will say I appreciate the compliment. And secondly, I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. And hey, if you're looking for somebody that has a little bit of class to attend your wedding, I'm more than happy to bring my dancing shoes.
You're in luck, sir, because I have his Instagram page up, and I'm going to give him a shout out because basically I'm a contributor to his Instagram page. So basically, the pleasure is all mine. But obviously, if you want to go follow him, you can have that here at the CW_invitational, not to be confused with the CW network, but his name is Chase Wakefield. So very clever. But he's got a couple of matches announced, and actually a couple of people I know very well. Dan Stofko, Sugar Dan Stofko. I don't know if you've run into Dan Stofko before, but we've got.
Can't say I have this yet.
Oh, well, maybe you never will. And we've got my buddy Ace Christian here, the Blaze, and some interesting stuff. And I'm a sponsor of it. And who knows? Maybe I'll even show up. You never know. But he actually wants me to show up, by the way. This guy actually wants me to show up to his wedding. I have no idea why, but you ain't going to get me in a suit and tie because, as I told you, unlike you, I'm not as classy. I'm more of a short and t-shirt man. I'll wear shorts until December, believe it or not. I'm a short and t-shirt guy. But, we'll take this off the screen. Let's get some more comments because Mr. Hammer wants to tell you this much. Keep that belt nice and shined up for me, sir. I don't think that you could do it for you. You don't want to shine the belt up for him, right? You don't want to do nah.
Well, I will say this. Will I keep the belt shined up? Absolutely. Will I do it for his honor? Okay, sure. But for him to wrest it from my grip, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think what he's implying is that you should basically keep it nice to give to him. I don't know about that. I think that's a poor idea on your part.
Yeah, that is going to be a hard pass. As I said, if you do believe that you have what it takes to wrest it from my grip, you are welcome to try. And let's see if the Three Rivers champion can stand up to the man that can hammer time.
He's got to focus on winning matches. He'll have his side of the story next Wednesday night. Let's just put it that way. Let's see here. Coming up here. And by the way, Ian would like to say about 30 years. You know what? We were talking about
this right.
The last show. You guys have an amazing history. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this 6 years. I've been covering wrestling now. Just about going on 4 years. And it's got to be really cool to wrestle for a company, an independent wrestling company, no less, that has that type of legacy. Very few indie companies can say they have the legacy that PWX has.
I agree, and that's part of the surreal and humbling experience that I feel every time I step in between those ropes. It's all that history, all the majesty, all the moments, all the ups, all the downs, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears. It's just wow. That's all I can really say about that.
Couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. And my friend James Taylor, who by the way has 130, was it 34,000 followers now on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, he's a big influencer. And he would like to tell me though that now because I have over 1,000 subscribers and I reached the watch hour threshold, now he's actually seeing ads before my show. So that means I'm actually collecting money now. But it's not it's what people think. But yes, I'm earning money daily now. So if you see an ad, that actually helps yours truly. So that actually means that after all my effort, that we're actually now getting some money for our work. But thank you, James, for that. James is a very dear friend of mine. I actually bought which we're on right now for on YouTube, the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube channel. We have 1,250 subscribers. We're live there. We're here on Sportswire with almost 1,300 subscribers. We're on another YouTube channel, which has, I think, 600 subscribers. We're on Twitch right now. We're on X with 3,400 followers. So, we have a lot of people tuned in. And James is one of those reasons why.
Yeah, you call me a busy man.
Listen, I am up 24 hours a day, basically. I am 24. I come from the background of politics, and that was always what I learned was like, you have to be in the community. You always have to be out, and that's really where I learned it from, but that's a different show for a different time, but here we go. Yes, Silas Walker, very excited about Silas. Hi to Chase Wakefield. Let's see who else we got. I will be seeing the gentleman on Saturday as well, along with DBG.
That is correct.
For you. Let's get to it here. Here we go. I have 4 questions for Godrick Sandwell. How long have you been wrestling? When did you start wrestling? And who was your inspiration to become a wrestler? And how tall are you? Wow. She should really be the one hosting, not me. I should just go, to quote Rush, I should exit stage left and just let her take over pretty much. I don't have to do anything.
Oh, please. There's nothing wrong with 2 brilliant co-hosts, is there?
I've asked. She doesn't want to do it. She's too humble. I asked her, now that I've got my 1,000+ subscribers, I want to retire. I actually would like to let her have it, but she won't do it. Maybe my lady friend watching will take over and host instead. That'll probably draw more eyes to the YouTube screen. But I digress. Here's her questions, and tell us a little bit about your answers.
All right, let's go in order here just to make it easy. How long have I been wrestling? I can actually answer that question 2 ways. I can answer it, how long have I been in the business overall, or just simply wrestling like I am now. In terms of in the business overall, that's between 8 and 9 years. As far as actually competing at the level that I'm at right now, that's closer to like 2.5, and I think the half is being generous. Let me see here. And when did I start wrestling? Yeah, that would be about 2.5 years ago, though I've been training for quite some time. Let me see here. My inspiration. Let's see here. That's actually a mighty fine question.
That's what I said. I was like, I don't even have to do this show anymore.
Yeah. As far as like let's see here. As far as my wrestling style goes, I have a variety of influences. I got to go to the top, of course, because that's what I was used to when I was growing up. RVD, I love how acrobatic, how he moves in that ring just so seamlessly.
Was it the Van Daminator, right? That was the big move.
That was one of many. Obviously, I draw some influence from Rey Mysterio as well with the Yep, I draw some influence from that. I admit I do love the showmanship of say a Shawn Michaels. Combine that with the aesthetic of back at that time, the Connecticut Blue Blood. Clearly, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. One.
Yep. And as far as like this, like some of the energy that I bring to the building, that's more of a kind of like Ultimate Warrior type wrestling piece as well.
A bunch of influences there. I wouldn't have guessed the Ultimate Warrior. I wouldn't have guessed that. That was a good one there. I didn't guess that, but
oh my lord, I'm starting to see some of the videos from my previous life. Wow.
I'm just trying to put it up because I have some people here that I'd like to give them a sub button for you because unfortunately, I can't let you have my YouTube subscribers the way it works. So the best thing I can do is since you're live on Sportswire, and I have a bunch of people in the chat like Zilla and some other people that they could go hit the sub button for you and go follow you on YouTube, which is kind of what I was, hoping that they would do. So that way, I gave you 3 subs, but maybe other people can give you some more subs. So that's what I was trying to, get at. So they're out there.
I do appreciate that. And to answer the last question, how tall am I? I'm like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, I could see that. I would have said 5'10". All right, I could have
Yeah,
said
5'10", 5'9", 5'10", and I'm about 170 pounds. In case that's your next question.
Well, that wasn't on my list to do to ask people what their weight, but who knows? Really, you just never know. But all right, let me get to hear some more comments. I think Ian's going to answer that. Tommy Hara is the CEO, and
Yes, he is.
is imploring I show up. Can I show up in shorts and a t-shirt? Probably not, right? Probably not, right? Probably not, right? Yes, rip to him. Head over to PWX. I can put that up in a little bit, but I tell you what, I'm going to put up even better. I'm going to do 2 full. I got a better idea, which I'm going to put up PWX because if you want to actually go to the show, I have a way you can do that. It's a very simple way, and I've made it so easy now because unlike other previous shows on Sportswire, I've got this up here. So if you want to buy a ticket,
Ooh.
go right here, and that's it. You can buy a ticket, general admission, front row, and go out there and have a good time and follow. And you see here the champ is on here on the poster, and go out there on 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Front row is $20, general admission $15, and November 2nd, and go out there and have a good time. And, go out and see the champ. 6:30 is doors open. Bell time 7:00.
Yeah. Yeah. November 2nd, 2125 Beacon Street in the heart of McKeesport, Pennsylvania is going to be the date, the time, the place to be to see yours truly in action. And hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on that Jace car for what he did to me a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, I am very excited about it, and I would love to be there. But I live in New York City, so I'm not sure the distance. But I tell you what, we will do is we'll be putting the ticket link here up next week when Loveless and Strong are here. I think we're here at 8. I'm sure if Andrew's here, he'll confirm it. But I think we're here at about 8:00 next Wednesday. Something that's like 8. I think it's 8 or 8:30. One of those times. We'll confirm it when we get closer. But we'll be here basically figure around that time. But also, you can go and say you can get tickets at the door. And if so, make sure you tell them Godrick Sandwell sent you. And don't forget to get him a Nacho Supreme. So what is the Nacho Supreme? I don't know. Am I missing something?
No. It's a dish that they offer at our concession stand, and from what I understand, it is quite tasty. So yours truly would love to indulge in one.
Nacho Supreme. I don't really eat nachos, believe it or not. I know. People. I was described. I had a 1,000 subscriber show on Sunday, and a man from my past came by who I've known for 15 years and called me quirky. And yeah, you could definitely see why I'm quirky. I don't even like nachos, but no, we need to get the gentleman buttery croissants. Buttery croissants.
Oh, buttery croissants, such delicacy. Actually, one moment, please, because. For the honor of Lady Lestat, who did just mention that, I actually do have some croissants with me right now.
You come prepared. I mean, well, wow, a buttery croissant. Wow.
I was not actually expecting the buttery croissants. I actually just had these sitting here because I do enjoy. So, kanpai.
Well, we'll definitely let you eat them, or eat them now. I don't know, whatever it is. We'll be here. We'll be off the air in a little while, undoubtedly. But Silas is not too far from him. I didn't know Silas lived near McKeesport, but I don't know Pennsylvania that well. I got to be honest. I mean, I'm in New York City. I don't know Pennsylvania. I mean, I know some parts of Pennsylvania, but I don't know Pennsylvania as well as maybe I should. But maybe I should soon enough. But we'll be getting buttery croissants on Saturday after the show.
Oh, such delicacy after a magnificent show. Oh, how delightful. I look forward to this. Yes.
You are definitely vaudevillian, I'll tell you that. 2 hours away from him. Okay, that's not bad. Wrestling, driving-wise, 2 hours is like 15 minutes for most people.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I talk to wrestlers all the time, and guys are like, I spoke to one guy the other day. I was like, well, I drove 5 hours. It wasn't that big a deal. Another guy was like, I drove 6, and 2 hours for people is like lunch. It's like a lunch drive, So that's not bad at all. 2 hours. Okay. Well, we'll take that off the screen. I do want to put up something else that I had of you, which I wanted to get your opinion on for one other match before we get to some other things, is that you had a match recently and you wrestled for another championship, and I want to pull it right back up on the screen. So let me do that here. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Let me pull that up. Okay, we're going to go right here and go.
Technology.
Yeah, technology. I have to find it, and I can't find it, and now I've got it right here. Okay, so I'm going to go like this.
If it makes you feel any better, myself and technology don't always get along either.
I figured that. You know what it is? I have a share the screen, and the share the screen is, kind of wanky at times, but you won't see it. I don't know when you do the podcast if you do a share the screen, but I've got the link up now, and I'm going to tell you why I have the link up in a minute. So let's go like this, and now we're going to take this off the screen. I'm going to put this up on the screen and go like this. So you had a match. And
there we go.
For the hybrid championship, the WVWF hybrid championship against Prodigy. And tell us what we're watching here right now.
Well, let's see here. Right now, trying to get the crowd a little bit hyped up after an emotionally exhausting evening as it was. Just try to get them back in, bring the energy, bring the excitement. I think I actually saw a couple of the attendees starting to kind of get up and get with the groove of a little bit of Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is one of my specialties.
You came out to Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was actually a good. I should have mentioned that. That was a good way to come out because I think that's always like a nice little crowd booster. Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's a good. That was a good one. I hadn't thought about that. I don't know why. So I don't know why more wrestlers come out to things like Earth, Wind, and Fire. I never understood that really.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little bit of a personal choice. Like, not everybody's going to be up to date with the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that's okay. That's all right.
Sure. All right. Well, good enough. My wrestler that came on before you had custom music, which is another reason why wrestlers may not come out with it. So, talk to me about what's different in WVWF versus PWX here. Talk to me about what we're seeing in your opponent in Prodigy.
Well, WVWF, obviously, we're going from Pennsylvania to West Virginia, so the mindset of everybody in that squared circle is going to be just a little bit different than yours truly would be truly accustomed to. But nevertheless, it's a good thing that I like to tailor myself to my opponents. I like to study a little bit of tape and make sure I can anticipate their moves before they even think about it. As far as the Prodigy goes, my approach was no different to him. Because obviously he's a champion for a very good reason because, well, he's certainly a game competitor, and I look forward to taking him on as well. And especially when his hybrid championship is on the line, wow, a gentleman puts on his best shoes and comes on by to Parkersburg to entertain and win championships.
Well, that's what you're going to certainly try to do here. And I'll say hello to my good friend here who's under Oswald Brightside, but his name is Mr. Brightside. And he actually does better than Joker 2 did at the box office. And he wanted to say,
ooh.
Yeah, he'll be here next week. So he's basically giving me a preemptive hello. Yes, good to see. He's a good friend. He's a friend of mine, actually, in this case. He's a friend of mine. So it's okay. He's a lot more friendlier than Joaquin Phoenix. But obviously, we are seeing here you in Prodigy. So, I mean, you talked about that you study your opponents and you prepare for them, but how do you prepare for Prodigy versus Vincent Slades? How different is that an approach to prepare?
Well, doing a little bit more tape study and a little bit more tape analysis in my study, which I'm actually at right now in case anybody's wondering. Considering Vincent Slades was a little bit closer to 300 pounds, which unfortunately, yours truly, despite how strong I am.
You revealed your weight, so I got the idea.
Yeah, but anyways, 300 pounds, I even struggle to move around a little bit, but with Prodigy being a little bit closer to me, I was able to figure out, could I potentially use my agility and then catch him off guard with something a little bit more on the muscular side. At least that was the plan going into it, anyways.
But plans don't always go into fruition.
Well, now the moment you reach battle, you may as well throw any plans you have out the window.
Well, that's the case because you're running around here. Unfortunately, you're running around almost like where I live today. You'll chuckle. There was a flock of turkeys that were actually blocking traffic, and that's kind of what you were doing, running around. Yes, we have turkeys in New York City, and that's what happened there. It's Staten Island particularly, but those chops look like they hurt you. Those are heavy chops, sir.
Yeah, they did not tickle, I assure you. But also, rest assured you that this gentleman's chops are nothing to shake a stick at either.
Yes, well, yours for sure, because those look like you got some vaudevillian like fire there under them.
Actually, here's a good part right here.
Yep.
So I want everybody to hear this, and there it is. Ooh, even I can feel that one, and that happened not too long ago either.
That made me squint actually when I watched it. It made me squint, but that's the case here. But okay, so you're getting hit though hard. But do you like these types of matches? I get that this is a little bit of a different match than some. This is more of a slugfest. Are you comfortable in these types of matches? Is there a style that you don't feel comfortable in?
Well, to be honest with you, as much as I acknowledge that in professional wrestling, there's something for everybody, whether it's technical ability, whether it's high flying ability,
Right.
whether it's acrobatics, whether it's hardcore. I'm actually pretty open to quite a few things. My like I said, my style I like to call a little bit more on the adaptive side.
Yeah.
I'll tailor myself to who I'm facing. But as far as a match style that I'm not too keen on, I will say the more hardcore death match variety
You
is
wouldn't be
not.
tomorrow's guest.
Yeah, it's not.
My guest tomorrow. You wouldn't be my guest tomorrow. But I tell you who I do in a lot of ways. I as two styles. I see it more as almost like a chameleon Chris Jericho type. I'm watching this match. I watched your match with you on the air with Slades, and you were very chameleon like in the ring. You feel like you're a chameleon a little bit when some of the things you do to kind of use it, adapt. And I kind of think chameleons kind of the same way. Do you feel this the same way a little bit in that word?
I mean, if we put that to that particular definition, then honestly, I would kind of say yes. Because as you said a little bit earlier, the moment that you enter a battle, you may as well just throw your initial plan out the window. So why would this be any different? The plan that I had initially with Prodigy, in this particular case, it didn't work at the onset. So it's like, okay, we go to plan B or C or D, or I can smack the taste out of his mouth, whichever works.
I just kept looking at the whole time throughout the match was the Mountain Dew cup. But we're watching the match here. We're here with the one and only gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, and he is the reigning defending PWX Three Rivers champion. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally. We're all wrestling matters, and we are here on Sportswire Radio. We want to thank our friends, obviously, in PWX for granting us the opportunity to speak with the champion. The champion will be in action coming up here on November 2nd, November Knockout. He'll be defending his championship there. There'll be a slew of great talents. We'll also be here next Wednesday night around 8 o'clock Eastern time. So definitely hang out with us. We'll be here for about 20 or 25 more minutes with the champion. We're very appreciative of his time. Okay, so
Please, it is my honor.
well, we love having you here. Have a nice little turnout, having a lot of fun. I got a couple more comments I'll get to. So very happy. But you're trying to deal with some type of I guess sort of submission move there a little bit that you're dealing with.
Yeah, he's got me trapped in a shoulder lock at that particular moment, trying to take a little bit of the wind out of my sails. But this gentleman is a little bit tougher than he looks.
I thought he was tough from the beginning. He's a big guy. I saw what he was doing to you chop wise in the ring, and he's another power guy. So that's why they call him the Prodigy.
Well, and actually, here comes a tribute to my primary trainer right there.
And who was your trainer for the audience?
My primary trainer, and And I love this guy till the end of days, which is probably more appropriate because probably calling him a guy is inappropriate. I would call him a demon more or less.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But his name is the Blood Beast.
Oh wow, okay. Much respect to the Blood Beast. We love the Blood Beast on Sportswire, and hopefully, he doesn't beat us down like a beast. But we love it. We love it.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be trained by him, not eviscerated by him. So that I consider myself very fortunate in this regard.
That's why you're a fellow hoster like me. You should really take over Sportswire. We probably get the views go up, but we're obviously seeing your match here, and it's obviously going down here like. It's a slugfest a little bit. You're hitting him with some type of kicks to the chest, and you got him in a way where you want him right now.
Yep. Yeah, just trying to wear the champion down and get to that point where the hybrid championship would come home to yours truly.
But a lot, you know.
But I will say, the Prodigy, he is beyond game as a competitor, and he is beyond game as a champion. I give him every single ounce of credit in the world as well.
Well, that's what it is. Obviously, in battle, you go out there and compete. You do the best you can, and that's the case. Let me get to a couple of comments as we're watching the match unfold. Yes, I'd like to be friends with you too, Mr. Brightside. Definitely want to be friends with you rather than Joaquin Phoenix's character in Joker 2. I'm trying a career at stand-up comedy. And, of course, don't forget a different coat for every show. Why do you wear every show a different coat? Why is that?
To be honest, it's mostly because I have the wardrobe to be able to show that off. I don't like only wearing one thing all the time. It kind of gets a little bit boring. So, as you can see right now, I'm wearing my more purple ensemble. I also have green. I also have blue. I also have red, which I look stunning in, by the way.
But I also have right now just what happened to you, because that was not fair. That calls for a disqualification.
And a disqualification it was.
That's not fair. That you weren't expecting that, good sir. That was not.
No, I wasn't.
That was not good sportsmanship.
Well, and that's why very soon me and that nefarious Prodigy are going to be going at it for that hybrid championship once again. And as a matter of fact, a little birdie has told me that if he would use that low blow once again, yours truly would become the hybrid champion, should that be the case.
But does that maybe give him some, let's just say, reasons not to use it? Because now that he knows what could happen, that he loses that championship if he uses the same low blow tactic.
Well, I mean, if he really wants to and he just wants to hand me the hybrid championship on a silver platter, I mean...
You want to recommend him to low blow you, and then you win the championship, right? It'll be painful short term, but long term, you'll have long term glory.
Well, indeed. But honestly, I would prefer if he doesn't, because as much as, hey, I would take a championship in any case, but I still prefer to earn it honorably.
And speaking of people that would like to earn some things honorably, and before we do that, let's put your YouTube link up here. A man that is named Justin Parsley would like to say, Godrick Sandwell, you're one of the greatest nicknames in wrestling, regardless if it's a mouthful. Few are so wordy, but yours is still exquisite. Rather, a man that was trying to play on words there. Something tells me that he wouldn't necessarily be like you and being a gentleman of exquisite caliber, especially after some different things have transpired. But nevertheless, he's still calling you exquisite. So he's definitely giving you some rather kind words.
Once again, a compliment like that. I'm so glad you can't see my face all that greatly. I might be blushing right now. but thank you. I appreciate that so kindly. You are too kind.
Well, we'll certainly see, and we'll go back and get some final thoughts on the match. But I wanted to ask you, you've traveled to some different places. What were some of your favorite memories traveling in your in-ring career? Yeah, I know we talked about PWX a lot. We'll get back to the end of the show, but you've been to some other places, some other states. Were there some other favorite memories in your career and such of traveling?
Well, again, I can answer that in one of two ways. From the YouTube link that you had posted, some of some of my old life was on there. Do you want me to answer it from like an overall perspective, or just stick with professional wrestling?
Any way you want. You can do it any.
Okay.
I am always very open ended. Whatever you'd like to answer it is.
Okay. Well, I'll answer it both ways then, and I'll keep it nice and brief. For part of that, like you see right there, me in the face paint. I used to do cosplaying many years ago. Yeah, this is just a recap of where I was, what I was doing. Nothing too freaky or anything like that. But yeah, wow, just seeing that, it makes me nostalgic.
Well, if it makes you feel good, I interviewed a couple years ago. There was a British wrestler I interviewed. His name was Chris Murphy, and he was actually really big in the cosplay world. He was so big that there were like thousands of people that would follow him. He was like big into Star Wars, and he was like he was really big in the cosplay world, like really
Mm,
big. He was a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He did like some indie wrestling in the UK. He had some abilities, but he was like a cosplayer.
uh, yeah, I can certainly resonate with that. But then, anyways, as far as that old life goes, it was 2014, Cincinnati, Ohio. We had one of the biggest events that I had ever been a part of in my life. We do our thing, and we dance the night away. Unfortunately, the video's not on my YouTube. I lost
Oh,
track of it, unfortunately.
bummer.
Yeah,
Bummer.
I'm sorry. I'm so
No, it's
sorry.
all good. It's all good.
But it was yeah, it was in the middle of downtown Cincinnati. We all of us gathered at Fountain Square, right in the heart of downtown, and we danced the night away with a hell of a live band.
Nice.
Hematosis, it was at the time, and it was just it was a blast.
That's good. I haven't been to Cincinnati. There's a lot of places I haven't been to that I need to be, but Cincinnati, I always thought would be a good place to be at. I always thought Cincinnati
Well,
really.
I see one of my promos there too. Actually, coincidentally, in my purple ensemble.
Let's put that up there. We could put that up, and that was from. It
Please
was
do.
recent. Though. That was recent. Definitely there. What are you drinking there for the audience? You have the belt.
I'm having a
I will hold it against you.
It's okay. It's I'm actually having a mocha after a little bit of a training session at one of my favorite coffee shops.
Well, what's your favorite coffee shop? Because you're gonna really think I'm more quirky. I've never drank coffee once in my life.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, everybody has their own taste, and you're entitled to it. So
I
is
don't have
everybody
much
else.
taste other than soda, really.
No, that's all right. The name of the place that I'm at in this particular promo is Cafe Conmingo.
Hey,
It's out in Pine Township, Pennsylvania, which isn't
okay.
too far away from me, but it's close enough where I got to make a special treat.
Nice. Well, you look good there. Summer Bash too. I
Oh,
think that big show, and you're obviously talking, and it's exciting to see people going down memory lane, and we're excited about what's ahead coming up here at November Knockout. I'm really looking forward to that as well. Some great stuff. You want to follow your YouTube channel? You can do that here. If you're here, you got a bunch of you here still. Go hit the sub button. Go follow and be a part of Godrick's Gallantry. Definitely, let's be here on the Gallantry. We want to see what the champ has got to offer and just his amazing career, amazing journey. Love connecting with new people and love working together with people. That's what it's all about. So check him out. I want to put the poster up one more time of what's ahead here on November the 2nd, November Knockout. You can buy a ticket here. Very simple. Right here, straight to the point. There it is, some information. I have a lot of Pennsylvania wrestlers in general. So it's going to be from 7 to 10 Eastern Time. Doors open 6:30 p.m., 2125 Beacon Street. Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, zip code 15132. And I'll be here with, again, Destin Victor Glow. I'll be here Thursday night with him, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'll be here next Wednesday with Peanut Butter and Jelly, which I want to end on sort of the PWX stuff. And what do you want to say? Should I know anything further about Loveless and Strong that I don't know already? I mean, anything you want to say to those guys before I obviously go back to the match ahead on November 2nd?
As far as Peanut Butter and Jealous goes, I mean, you probably know these guys a lot better than I
do
do.
know them very well. These guys, Mr. Loveless, I know quite a while. I know him very well.
Well, I will say this: alone they are formidable, but together they create quite a unit. I will say. I look forward to hopefully them starting to hit their stride and get some success, whether it be at PWX or abroad. I wish them nothing but the best.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, they've been kind of trying to find their way and get success, get to where you are, and I guess we'll have to find out. We'll talk about their match, and they, once again had their own problems. I'll definitely leave that to talking about Mr. Lovelace and Mr. Strong on next Wednesday's show. And we thank Mr. Lovelace. He just shared our YouTube link, so that's always nice when those who share the link, even though they weren't here. But we'll do that. But let me though ask you this question: if you had final words for your opponent coming up here on November 2nd, what would they be?
Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure as to who my opponent is, but I'm about 99% sure that I'm going to get an opportunity to get my hands on that nefarious Jace Carr. If you're giving me the platform or just at least a moment to speak somewhat directly to him, I will say this. Mr. Carr, I do know who you are. I'm sorry that the PWX faithful didn't know who you were. I'm sorry about that, but there's obviously not much I can do about that. But in regards to that, I know who you are. I know where you've been. I know the things that you have done. And the fact of the matter is, if you're there to try to help PWX, if you're there to try to save PWX, let me assure you of one thing. Actually, four things, actually. When you have a heavyweight champion like Lestat, when you have a Fight Society United States champion like the Blood Beast, ooh, wow, that sent a shiver down my spine, please excuse me. When you have a heritage champion like the Superior G himself, and last and certainly not least, when you have your two-time, and damn proud of it, Three Rivers champion at the helm, I don't think PWX needs much in the way of saving. But if you want to try your hands at it and you want to go through me to do it, well, sir, I await you with a bated breath in the middle of that hallowed ground in McKeesport.
Ooh, I cannot wait for November Knockout coming up here. November the 2nd. It is on Jace Carr. You are certainly could be looking for a knockout, and I have a feeling this could be a first-round knockout. It may even be a TKO because Godrick Sandwell, he might be the gentleman of exquisite caliber, but I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, right now, coming November 2nd, the champ is so excited. He's got that buttery croissant right over to him. He's going to be looking forward to that Nacho Supreme, but he's going to have championships on his mind to keep that Three Rivers championship. But he's going to do what the Steelers just did to the Jets on Sunday night to you, Mr. Carr. So certainly you're going to want to tune into that. That's for sure. And we'll certainly see what the future holds. And apparently Chase Wakefield's so excited tonight. He wants to watch you guys in action coming up here on November 2nd. So there you go, getting some new fans potentially. And if you want to have some new fans, I mean, I see you here, Chase Wakefield. I plugged you. Well, you got to go give Godrick Sandwell a YouTube follow here. Give him hit the sub button for him. I want everybody to hit that sub button for him. You got some videos, some footage. Let's support those that support us. Obviously, that's his YouTube channel. But obviously, we'll certainly see. But we'll have to make sure that you go out there and follow. And there you have it. So definitely make sure you do that. And I always ask people this question before we get to sign off. What are your goals for the rest of the year?
Well, as for right now, I'm just going to keep things nice and easy. Not drop my phone, number one. Number two, and this would be the most important for anyone, would be to keep that Three Rivers Championship rest secured either in the study, on my waist, or on my shoulder. But for number three, and I think the PWX faithful and even the WVWF faithful can now attest to this, all I want to do is bring the soiree and make sure everyone has a good time and gets their money's worth.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm very excited. And one more time, let me put that ticket, even though I know Lovelace and Strong are going to be here next Wednesday, but let me put up that ticket that ticket page here, because if you want to get some more information, you want to get a chance to go out and watch the show, I would highly encourage it. You got some great wrestlers who are going to certainly be there. We're going to talk about a lot of them coming up on Sportswire Radio. I would highly encourage that. Also, if you want to follow on Facebook, I'm going to put the Facebook page up here very briefly because I know I'm going to lose my account to be accessed. So let's go make sure here. I see a bunch of people. There it is, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. That's his Facebook page. So ladies, gentlemen, angels, demons, all points in between, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, the servant of the sentience, and yours truly, Godrick Sandwell, your humbling, traveling vaudevillian that would be honored to wrestle in a town near you. And that's his Facebook page. Go give him a follow. And you can see some history, some matches. There's his face. He's a main event star. You can obviously see some of it there. And yeah, I lost my Facebook account. Yeah, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Facebook is so weird. I can log in on my phone, but I can't log into my laptop. It's the weirdest thing. But that's okay. We got your. I know. Listen, social media is a place. It's a place I still can't figure out. But obviously, here, let me come up here with one more thing. Also, Godrick Sandwell, don't forget about soon to be new tag team champions, the Reckoning 6 total champions who keep PWX alive.
That's right. Yeah, right now we do not have tag team champions. That is open, but well, as far as I can tell, it looks like the Reckoning is some of the favorites to win those vacant belts. And if that's the case, hey, I wish you guys the absolute best, and please go get them.
But tag team championships are not in your focus at the moment because you got the Three Rivers Championship.
That is correct. My focus is on maintaining that Three Rivers Championship on my waist, on my shoulder, or in my grasp. That is my primary focus right now. Aside from that,
why not? You got the belt that people want, and you got a man that attacked you for no reason and puts you on your face. He puts you onto the ground with that super kick, and you're going to certainly get even with him coming up here undoubtedly on November 2nd.
Well, get even with Mr. Jace Carr is not precisely what I have in mind, but for the sake of formalities, we could just leave it at that.
We'll certainly see. Stay tuned. Obviously, please support our friends at PWX. They're on Facebook. They're on YouTube. We definitely want to look forward to more coverage. Obviously, I put the ticket link up there. We'll continue to support them. I want to thank, obviously, PWX for their support of Sportswire Radio working with us. I want to thank, obviously, everybody that's tuned in to have a great response, great crowd here tonight, and that's what it's all about. We have a lot more coverage ahead of PWX. Again, Andrew Lovelace and also Max Stroger here next Wednesday. Expect a lot more whining, maybe a lot more whining, some would say. And we'll also be with DVG Thursday night. DVG's in the house. There's another pro wrestler from Arizona, Stud Bronson, Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, I get some guys. I've had guys. I have Friday. I have the UK. I have British independent wrestlers and Colory Championship Wrestling. They're doing a show for autism, and I actually have the pleasure to have the guys here to talk about that. They actually mailed me a whole list of their pictures with autographs, so I didn't ask for it, but they gave it to me. So, but we've got you here. You're the Three Rivers champion, so I'm going to certainly be very thrilled with that. But I think it's time to pass the baton to you. I think we've spoke about a lot tonight, and I definitely would love to have you back on, by the way, right after the show. I know there's still a few more PWX shows that are here for the rest of the year. So anything I could do, I'd love to have you here anytime you like to be here. You're always welcome. We have a great relationship with PWX, and I want that to continue. And anything we could do to obviously work with that and put you guys here on Sportswire, we'd love to have that. We're about all wrestling matters. So if you'd like to be back here next month, consider it done. And until then, I'd like to pass the baton to you. I'd like to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? The floor is yours.
All right. And I thank you, very kind sir. You name the date, the time, the place, and a gentleman will be there. As far as anything else on my itinerary besides November the 2nd, where me and Mr. Jace Carr are going to have more than a couple of words, let a gentleman assure you. I have one more stop to make this Saturday, October 26th. It's going to be Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots down in Bridgeport, Ohio, 857 National Road. It's around the back of the building, where I'm not 100% sure who I'm facing just this instant, but the fact remains that a gentleman, no matter where he is, whether it's Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, up in New England, whether he travels to the Midwest, out to the West, he goes down south to a great place in Tennessee or Mississippi, it doesn't matter. Because this gentleman is bringing the soiree no matter where he goes. And Ring will travel. All you got to do is find me and ask.
Well, I'll tell you what, that sounds to me like a deal. That sounds to me like something that I definitely would be excited to see. I hope to see it in more places. I hope to be able to cover it. And I hope that we can get a chance to have more coverage. We'll definitely talk about that off the air in terms of what's to come in the future. And I am very, very excited about that. But we'll certainly see. And looking forward to whatever happens November 2nd. It's the next PWX show. And again, what a great deal. $20 for a front row seat. You can't even go out to dinner anymore for $20. IMAX movie can't even do that. You want to go to a baseball game. You talk about the Eagles, you talk about the Steelers. You ain't going to get a ticket for $20 for a good seat. $15.
Not anymore.
I mean, just no, not even. So there's no way. And I used to be big into going to playoff games, sporting events, and I just rather stay and support my wrestlers. And let's do that, obviously, by supporting our friends here in Pro Wrestling Express. 30 years they've been at this. 30 years. That is leadership in our community. That is results every day. That is making a difference. We are strongly supporting PWX, and I encourage everybody that's been in and out of this show tonight to go out and support them. And Godrick Sandwell's got a huge title match coming up. We can't wait to talk about it. My friend, it is an absolute honor to have you. I look forward to speaking with you after the show, November 2nd, to see the fallout from that. I know Loveless and Strong will have a lot to say coming up here next Wednesday night. But thank you so much. You definitely proved why you are the gentleman of exquisite caliber. And ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons, I have no doubt we'll see you here next month. And congratulations on all the success. And can't wait to see you after November 2nd.
It was an honor and a pleasure, Reverend Tom Bryce. I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
I appreciate that very much. And that was Godrick Sandwell, of course, the gentleman of exquisite caliber. He is the PWX 3 Rivers champion. My name is your Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, I will be back here tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time, with Cato, the complete opposite of Godrick Sandwell. Then Thursday night, DVG's in the house with Thomas Taft. So I'll be kind of closer to you. And then I'm here Friday night for my regular sports show. And then I'm here with a slew of other people, but especially next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm here with Andrew Loveless and Max the Hammer Strong, Peanut Butter and Jello. So PWX fans, definitely be here for that. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Have a great night, and I'll see everybody tomorrow in prime